Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Gold Rush Season 14, Rick Ness asks Parker for favor. Discovery fans who are watching Gold Rush Season 14 with the return of Rick Ness are thrilled with the new season. There is more risk, more drama, and more gold. Moreover, Episode 3 entitled Hey Parker, It's Rick promises a big reunion. In addition, Parker seems to have a lot of good luck. Is he on the gold? Lastly, Tony Beats is challenging Mike Beats to get things set up for the season. Can the Viking be patient as this son learns some new skills? Here is what fans should expect in the next episode. What is Gold Rush Season 14 Episode 3 about? The latest episode of Gold Rush Season 14 is called Hey Parker, It's Rick. According to IMDb, Parker's crew unearths a pile of gold in an unlikely location. After years of not speaking, Rick visits Parker for a favor. He needs a loader. Tony pressures son Mike to spearhead the move to Indian River. However, things got tense when Rick had different ideas from Parker. They butt heads many times. Then Rick started his own mining team and the two became estranged. But based on this week's preview for the upcoming episode, there seems like no animosity whatsoever. The two give each other a friendly hug. Then Parker tells him how he knew Rick would be back, and Rick really seems to appreciate his support. Then Rick admitted that years ago, he gave his best work to Parker. Parker then admitted he was at his worst during this time. Parker also pointed out how hard they all worked, but Rick was ready to do it again. He has put it all on the line and he is determined. Now, Rick has a favor. He needs a loader. Can Parker help out? Part of the fun of Gold Rush is seeing how the miners interact with each other and watching them grow their skills. However, nothing compares to Tony Beats when he is frustrated. In this upcoming week, he has to patiently guide Mike Beats into doing the job that his other son Kevin Beats used to do. Can Mike live up to his father's standards? In the wilds of Alaska, where the land is as unforgiving as the bitter winds that sweep across it, the men who dare to chase gold are a different breed. Season 14 of Gold Rush opens with a palpable tension in the air, as Rick Ness stands on the brink of a decision that could change his fortunes or ruin them. The snow-covered peaks loom ominously in the distance, a constant reminder of the challenges that lie ahead. Rick, with his rugged face etched with lines of determination, has faced countless battles in his quest for gold. But this season he finds himself in an unexpected predicament. His operation, which once seemed unstoppable, is now on the verge of collapse. Equipment failures, dwindling morale, and the harsh realities of the Alaskan wilderness have taken their toll on his crew. The gold isn't flowing as it once did, and Rick knows that something has to give. In the dead of night, with the campfire flickering and the cold seeping into his bones, Rick makes a decision that surprises even himself. He picks up his radio, hesitates for a moment as he gathers his thoughts, and then contacts Parker Schnabel. Parker, the young prodigy of the gold mining world, has been Rick's rival for years. The two men have a complicated history, one built on mutual respect, but also fierce competition, yet Rick knows that Parker is his last hope. If anyone can help him turn things around, it's Parker. When the radio crackles to life and Parker's voice comes through, there's an edge of curiosity in it. Rick? What's going on? Rick takes a deep breath, choosing his words carefully. Parker, I need a favor. Silence hangs between them, heavy with unspoken emotions. Parker is taken aback. This is the last thing he expected from Rick. The two have always been like oil and water, never fully mixing, but always aware of each other's presence. For Rick to ask for help, it must be serious. Parker finally breaks the silence, his voice cautious. What kind of favor? Rick doesn't sugarcoat it. I need some of your equipment. My operation's in trouble, and I can't keep going without better gear. You know the conditions out here. If I don't get things running smoothly soon, this season's over for me. Parker's mind races. He knows the stakes, knows what it means to have the right equipment in this game. But he's also a businessman. His instinct is to weigh the cost-benefit, to consider how this might impact his own operation. He could simply refuse and let Rick's crew sink. That would mean less competition and more gold for him. But Parker isn't one to kick a man when he's down. Deep down, he admires Rick's grit and determination. There's also a part of Parker that remembers what it's like to be on the brink, to feel the weight of an entire crew's livelihood resting on your shoulders. He's been there, more times than he cares to admit, and despite their rivalry, Parker feels a strange kinship with Rick. They're both in the same game, fighting the same fight against a land that doesn't give up its riches easily. Parker leans back in his chair, staring at the maps of his own claims. Finally, he makes his decision. "All right, Rick, I'll help you out. But this isn't charity, we're going to make a deal." Rick nods, though Parker can't see it. He expected as much. "Name your terms." Parker doesn't hesitate. "I'll loan you the equipment, but I want a percentage of your gold, 20% straight off the top." Rick grimaces. It's a steep price, but he doesn't have much choice. He knows that without Parker's help, he might not make it through the season. He also knows that Parker is fair, if not generous. The terms could have been worse. "Deal," Rick agrees, his voice resolute. "You've got a deal." As the radio goes silent, Rick feels a mix of relief and apprehension. He's just made a pact with the devil, or at least, that's how it feels. But he also knows that this is the only way forward. His crew needs him to succeed. And if that means swallowing his pride and asking Parker for help, so be it. The next day, Parker's equipment rolls into Rick's camp. The crew watches with a mix of awe and trepidation. They know what this means, both the potential for success and the cost that comes with it, but there's no time to dwell on it. They get to work, the roar of the machinery echoing through the valley as they dig into the frozen ground. As the days turn into weeks, the new equipment breathes life into Rick's operation. The gold starts to flow again, not in torrents, but enough to keep the dream alive. The men work with renewed energy, spurred on by the sight of those precious flecks in the dirt. Every ounce they pull from the ground is a reminder of the deal Rick made, of the favor Parker granted him. But this season is far from over, and the challenges are just beginning. The weather turns brutal, with storms that threaten to bury their progress under feet of snow. The ground itself seems to rebel, freezing solid and making it nearly impossible to dig. The crew's spirits are tested daily, but they push on, driven by the hope that the next bucket of dirt will hold the payoff they've been dreaming of. Rick knows that Parker will be watching closely, tracking every ounce of gold that comes out of the ground. The deal they made hangs over him, a constant reminder that even in the harsh world of gold mining, nothing comes for free. But there's also a grudging respect that's developed between them. They may be rivals, but they're also two men who understand the true cost of the gold they seek. As the season reaches its climax, the tension is palpable. Every decision, every ounce of gold, every setback, it all leads to this moment. Rick stands at the edge of his claim, looking out over the land that has both blessed and cursed him. He thinks about the favor he asked for, the deal he struck, and the future that now hangs in the balance. In the end, the gold rush is about more than just wealth. It's about survival, about pushing the limits of what a man can endure, and about the bonds forged in the crucible of the wilderness. Rick and Parker, though rivals, are bound by the same dream, the same hunger for gold, and the same unforgiving land that holds it. Season 14 of Gold Rush is a tale of grit, determination, and the complex relationship between two men who, despite their differences, find themselves on the same path. The favor Rick asked for is more than just a business transaction. It's a turning point, a moment that will define their season, and possibly their futures. The gold is there, waiting, but it won't come easy. It never does.